Good evening. Could you call the Schaumburg Village Board meeting to order for Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Patel is absent. Trustee Clare?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan?
Present.
Trustee Madej is absent. Trustee Bischke?
Present.
Trustee LaRosa?
Present.
President Daly?
Present. We do have a quorum. I do ask if you have any of these electronic devices that you please turn them off, whether it's a cell phone or a tablet or whatever, so that we can have a quiet meeting. Want to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask Jamie, can you do that?
Certainly. Everybody please rise.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
Next item is the approval of minutes from the June 9, 2026 board meeting.
Move to approve as presented. Second.
Motion and a second to approve as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the June 9th, June 9th, 2026 executive session minutes. Questions, comments?
Move to approve as presented. Second.
Motion and a second to approve as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item is the approval of expenditures in the amount of $10,008,729.03.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve as presented. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Patel is absent. Trustee Clare?
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan?
Aye.
Trustee Madej is absent. Trustee Bischke?
Aye.
Trustee LaRosa?
Aye.
All ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you. Presentations. And we do have a presentation. Where is Deborah? Where are you? There you are. Trying to hide back there. You can't hide. Wow, and I can't believe we're at this point. You know? This is a retirement plaque for 34 years of service to Deborah Perrin, Code Enforcement Supervisor. Let me get this out of here. We're going to get a picture too. Like I say, I can't believe we're already. Seems like just the other day, you know? Been around here, you and I have been around here a long time for this. So, anyway, Cassandra's going to take the picture, so we'll do it this way, all right? Okay, we're definitely going to miss you.
I'll say.
Yeah. See? There's lots of people are going to miss you. Don't lose it. Okay, so here's your box, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, sorry to see you go.
Congratulations. You've escaped.
I'm really gonna miss you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thanks.
We're going to miss
you're
you.
back.
I'm
Good
back.
to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, our next item is liquor license request. We have a request from Mr. Sandeep Kumar for one Class A liquor license for Ahar, am I pronouncing that correctly? Indian Kitchen and Bar located at 25 South Roselle Road, new business. This is in the Old Deerfield Bakery, correct? Yeah. Please come forward. So I know we've talked before. Why don't you just give us a small recap of what you're doing at the business there?
Absolutely. Ahar is going to be a local high-end Indian restaurant serving city of Schaumburg, neighborhoods, and local towns around Schaumburg. It's focused on basically a high quality of chef special dishes, but also focusing on serving a bar, which is going to be like complementing the experience for what we're serving as our cuisine. And that will be basically complementing the bar. The bar service will complement the dishes. We'll be serving craft beer, specialty wines, specialty cocktails, infused cocktails. And that experience will pair very well with the dining experience for our patrons. And the restaurant is basically designed in a way where local neighborhoods folks will enjoy at the highest experience at their dining experience.
Okay. So this is a Class A, full restaurant license. Questions, comments from the board? No. Okay. So you'll need to go to the Liquor Commissioner's office, which is also the mayor's office. It's on the 4th floor during normal business hours. Complete the paperwork. There's a background check, a fee to be paid, and once all that's completed and okay, then a liquor license will be issued.
Okay.
Okay? And you don't have to stay if you want to leave, so, all right?
Thank you.
Okay, sure. All right. Consent agenda. So the consent agenda will be read in its entirety, voted on as one motion to approve. If you want to discuss an item further, indicate that when the item is read by the village clerk so that it can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed further under committee reports. Otherwise, all items will be approved as presented on the consent agenda in one motion. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Number 9, correspondence. A, the motion would be to approve the request from the Schaumburg Firefighters Benevolent Association to hold a raffle on September 12, 2026 at Olympic Park, 1675 Old Schaumburg Road, and to grant a variance to Municipal Code Section 117.31. B, the motion would be to approve the request from Schaumburg Firefighters Benevolent Association to hold a raffle on September 12, 2026 at Olympic Park, 1675 Old Schaumburg Road, and to grant a variance to Municipal Code Section 117.31. C, the motion would be to approve the request from the Prairie Center Arts Foundation to hold raffles during each of the Summer Breeze concerts from July 11th, 2026 through August 29th, 2026 at the L. Larson Cultural Center located at 201 Schaumburg Court, and to waive the fidelity bond requirement. D, the motion would be to approve the request from Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association of Schaumburg to hold a raffle on September 7th, 2026 at the Septemberfest grounds located at 201 Schaumburg Court, and to waive the fidelity bond. E, the motion would be to approve the request from Thank Foundation to hold a raffle on August 16th, 2026 at Olympic Park located at 1675 Old Schaumburg Road, and to grant a variance to Municipal Code Section 117.31 and to waive the fidelity bond requirement. F, the motion would be to approve the request from the Thank Foundation to hold a raffle on October 29th at Topgolf, located at 2050 Progress Parkway, and grant a variance to Municipal Code Section 117.31 and waive the fidelity bond requirement. 10, the motion would be to authorize the village manager and village clerk to execute an agreement for the 90 North Park Stage 3 design services with RVI Planning and Landscape Architecture of Naperville, Illinois, in the amount of $298,100 and approve the required resolution. The motion, B, the motion would be to refer the amendment to Policy Statement 7.14 Driveway Apron Replacement Policy to the Committee of the Whole. C, the motion would be to approve supplemental engineering for the Salem Drive reconstruction, Parker Drive to Schaumburg Road, Phase 2 final design with Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick, Inc. of Elgin, Illinois, in the amount of $343,157.50. D, the motion would be to approve a waiver of the competitive process and authorize the village manager and village clerk to execute an agreement for the Enterprise Asset Management System Cloud upgrade and implementation with Trimble of Westminster, Colorado, in the amount of $145,250 and approve the required resolution. E, the motion would be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract and award the purchase of a generator and automatic transfer switch to Altifor Power Systems, Inc. F, the motion would be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract and award the purchase of one sewer camera truck to EJ Equipment, Inc. of Manteno, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed the approved budget. G, the motion would be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract and award the purchase of one trailer generator to Interstate Power Systems of Carroll Stream, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed the approved budget. H, The motion would be to authorize participation in the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract and award the upfit of one tandem axle dump truck to Bonnell Industries of Dixon, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed the approved budget. 11, Finance, Legal, and General Government Committee. A, the motion would be to approve the Finance Department monthly report for May 2026. B, the motion would be to approve the continued participation in Meet Chicago Northwest and authorize the village manager to make the payment equaling 10% of the 4% hotel motel tax revenue for fiscal year 26-27. C, the motion would be to accept the Phase 2 proposal for advertising, media planning, and media buying services with Red Caffeine of Lombard, Illinois, in the amount of $250,000 and authorize the village manager to execute the contract. D, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the village manager to execute the subscription renewal of Success Factors of South San Francisco, California, at a one-year cost of $129,065.22. The subsequent 4 years of the contract are subject to an annual 3.3% increase and will be approved by the village manager with the contractor's satisfactory performance and approved budget. E, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the village manager to execute a statement of work between the Village of Schaumburg and HR Path of Atlanta, Georgia, at a cost of $128,000. 12, Zoning Board of Appeals. A, the motion would be to approve a plat of subdivision, site plan approval, special use approval for a drive-through, sign variation, and Woodfield Regional Center design review for 7 Brew Development, 400 East Gulf Road. B, the motion would be to approve a site plan approval, special use for a car wash, parking variation, and Woodfield Regional Center design review for Club Car Wash, 404 East Gulf Road. 13, award of bid. The motion would be to award the bid for the new Village Hall Fortinet hardware and maintenance to the lowest responsible bidder, SciTech Inc., of Fremont, California, in the amount of $197,864. 14, traffic agreements. The motion would be to authorize the village manager to execute the traffic agreement by and between the Village of Schaumburg and Streets of Woodfield Owner, LLC, at 601 North Martingale Road, 1901 East Woodfield Road, 1900 and 1950 East Higgins Road. B, the motion would be to authorize the village manager to execute the traffic agreement by and between the Village of Schaumburg and Streets of Woodfield Owner, LLC, located at 750 North Martingale Road. 15, resolutions. A, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-26-045, authorizing the village manager and village clerk to execute an agreement for 90 North Park Stage 3 design services with RVI Planning and Landscaping Architecture. B, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-26-046, authorizing the village manager and village clerk to execute an agreement for enterprise asset management, cloud upgrade, and implementation with Trimble. C, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-26-047, authorizing village manager to execute a 2026 order form between the Village of Schaumburg and Success Factors for subscription fees for software and services. D, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-26-048, authorizing the village manager to execute a statement of work between the Village of Schaumburg and HR Path for professional services for implementation services. E, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-26-049, authorizing the village manager to execute a collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Schaumburg and the Schaumburg Professional Firefighters Association, IAFF, Local 4092, 2026 to 2029. F, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R-26-050, authorizing the village manager to execute a collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Schaumburg and the American Federation of State Council Municipal Employees, Council 31, Local 1919, 2025 to 2028. 15, ordinances. The motion would be to adopt as ordinance number 26-046, granting a plat of subdivision, site plan approval, special use approval for a drive-through, sign variation, and Woodfield Regional Center design review for 7 Brew Development, 400 East Gulf Road. B, the motion would be to adopt as ordinance number 26-047, granting a site plan approval, special use for a car wash, parking variation, and Woodfield Regional Design Center review for Club Car Wash, 404 East Gulf Road. This concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you. Look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as read. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Patel is absent. Trustee Clare?
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan?
Aye.
Trustee Madej is absent. Trustee Bischke?
Aye.
Trustee LaRosa?
Aye.
Motion carries. Committee reports. There's a recommendation to approve a fence variation for 200 Tulip Court. This was under discussion at Plan Commission, right? So ask, who's representing the Plan Commission?
Rich Gerber.
Oh, there you are. Okay, sorry, didn't see you back there. Rich, come on, please come on up. So we all have, obviously, the packet, all the papers and everything that you guys got. And we've got the minutes from that. So
Yep.
just a brief, short as to what it was, what the conversation was, and go from there.
Of course. The petitioner had done some renovations to the home, which include a fence. Contractor had worked with village staff in the design and making sure the fence was compliant. Toward the end of the project, the contractor had notified the village and said there's a board, and now there's a sleeve that goes on top and the bottom of each of the boards. The Plan Commission at the time felt that there was a breakdown in communication between the village, not understanding what that meant, and the contractor perhaps not communicating what that meant, but it expanded the width of the board, which then caused it to be non-compliant with the spacing required between boards for a non-solid fence. The Plan Commission generally felt that there was lack of communication on both sides, and did not feel that the petitioner was trying to do anything unorthodox, had felt that they took all of the steps needed to satisfy the village requirements, and after the fact found out under the final review that it was a non-compliant fence.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone from staff? Good evening, how are you doing?
Good evening. I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Okay, all right, so just a brief, obviously, Rich has given us there, but how this all came about.
Sure. As he indicated, the petitioner was granted a permit for improvements to his home. In addition, that included also a fence. The permit actually was what we call approved as noted. So there was a note on the permit indicating the specifics with respect to the board width and the spacing that was expected upon installation. At the Plan Commission, at the public hearing on June 3rd, the petitioner provided testimony about their contractor that contacted staff and asked for specific information with respect to how the spacers would impact the board width. And so the contractor indicated that he was told that those spacers would not impact the spacing that's required. Our code is pretty clear in terms of what a semi-open fence is with respect to it being 30%. So because the brackets were added to the board, our code talks about the surface. It doesn't actually specify the board, it talks about the surface. So once the surface was increased, the subsequent spacing between the boards should have been increased. And because that didn't happen, a building inspector failed the fence inspection. So staff worked with the petitioner to apply for a variation so that they could come before the Plan Commission and request relief, as staff obviously does not have the ability to grant relief to code. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Yeah, just for clarification, so the requirement was supposed to be, I'm trying to make sure I understand, 2.58 inches?
Correct. It was originally it was a 6-inch board with 2 5/8 inch spacing.
Okay.
And what happened is the brackets increased the width of the surface. So the board plus the spacers increased the overall surface, so that 2 5/8 inch gap needed to be increased additionally.
To basically an inch more.
Correct,
Okay,
approximately.
okay. Is the contractor here?
I do not know. I know the
So,
petitioners, the petitioners.
Petitioner, you were the petitioners? No?
No,
Who's the,
petitioners.
you're the petitioner? Okay, why don't you come on up here too? The contractor has done business in the village before?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure I know that they're licensed and they pulled permits, so I believe they have done.
Okay, so they've done business, so,
yes.
all right. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and explain the situation from your perspective here?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Good evening to everybody. Long story short is, we got through a pretty extensive renovation. We did a substantial addition to our house. The fence was the final step in our renovation process. We did that under a separate permit. We've been working on this for 2 years now, and we've been fully compliant with every single ordinance in the village. We're not trying to skirt any laws or anything. What happened was we filed a permit for a 6-inch width board, and we understood that was 2 5/8 spacing. The fence is 5 feet high. I don't think there's any dispute about the height of the fence. It's just the board width. The contractor and I, we didn't know that the boards had a tongue and groove installation method. So when the boards came, they had the tongue and groove, and we found out that there was spacers that were required for structurally supporting the boards to the fence post. So the spacers ended up adding about 2.5 inches, but before that was actually installed, I knew there was going to be, I had some issues with my electrical, and it's actually pretty substantial issues with my electrical inspection, and we were able to work those out. So I thought I'd be proactive and have my contractor call the village, as I thought was appropriate, and so he did. We called the village, and we had specifically asked, we didn't know about these spacers. We have them now. They're ready to be installed. What would you like us to do? And so the advice, and again, I wasn't on the call. I'm just relaying what my contractor relayed to me, but the only purpose of the call was to ask about spacing. That was really the purpose. And so the information we received was, go ahead and keep the 2 5/8 inch spacing. I just want to work through the math really quick. We have a 5-foot fence. We have 5 boards at 8.5 inches. That's 42.5 inches. 60 inches, we're at 17.5 inch spacing. 30% of 60 inches is 18. I think we're talking about 1/2 inch, okay, overall. I think their report disagrees with that, and they have a formula in there. The formula is not actually reflective of the actual ordinance because the ordinance doesn't stipulate an actual formula. I'm just giving you my own common sense interpretation of that. The ordinance simply says 30%. It has to be open by 30%. So that's my interpretation of that. It could be a code interpretation issue. It could, it was definitely a phone call miscommunication. But that's really what happened. It's a $40,000 fence. It would be, just a real substantial hardship for us to have to go back and undo it.
Okay, yeah, this is a composite board,
Yes.
so it's not a wooden or what's the other type of material?
PVC.
Yeah, or anything like that.
No, it's
yeah.
composite board. I
Yeah.
mean, we have between 2 5/8 and 2 3/4 inch spacing, which, realistically, if you have a small animal, it'll go right through, I have a toddler at home, so there's foxes running around everywhere. My daughter plays in the backyard, so I'm just worried about, animals coming through, and anything larger than that, I think is just a hazard for us.
Okay. Don't go away just yet. Questions from the board? Anyone?
So I have a couple. So for staff, so staff's recommendation was to deny the variance request. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And the reasoning for that was because it's non-compliant.
It's not compliant. It was listed in the approved plans, the approved as noted with respect to the spacing, and then obviously the precedent.
Okay. And then the question on the phone call, have we been able to confirm that we told them that to proceed with the fence the way that it was? Or the way that it was, the spacing that was for the 6-inch board to go ahead and use that for the 8.5-inch?
Sure, so I was not able to confirm that. I was able to confirm that the call took place and that staff did speak with the contractor on the date provided, and I think it was approximately a 12-minute call. But in my conversations and discussions with the staff that had the conversation, they did not confirm, they did not recall, providing that information, so I was not able to confirm that.
Okay, and when the design changed, because the boards changed with the spacers, did they submit new plans to be approved?
They did not, but as the petitioner indicated, I think they tried to call, but they didn't submit new plans. And I will say that this, the permit was a part of a larger overall addition. So there was a note and there was a supplemental information related to the fence. But it was a part of a larger overall permit, but they didn't provide like a revised plan to say, we've got spacers. I believe their contractor called to discuss it.
Trustee Clark.
So it was your contractor that called the village, not yourself, correct?
Correct.
Is there a reason why your contractor isn't here to answer our questions?
I didn't ask him to come.
I see, because he said, she said, and one of the,
I understand.
one of the sides of the story is not
I
here,
understand.
so.
We were talking about half an inch here, so.
Well, it's not a matter of that, we have ordinances for a reason. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a huge amount, but, we don't, nobody seems to have confirmation that you were told, that anybody was told that you could do it. And there was never a new drawing submitted, so I don't know.
They could have provided a statement to Mr. Franklin here about what the conversation was about during that call, and they didn't.
Well, Mr. Franklin already said that there was no confirmation saying that your contractor was said to go ahead and change it.
Yeah, they're not going to say that.
Yeah, so what would be involved if you had, it wouldn't be, it would just be, if hypothetically, if you had to redo it, you'd have to move the boards, is that what it is?
I'd have to tear it all out and redo it. I mean, or, I don't know, rip the boards, or I don't know.
Okay.
I think one of my bigger issues is I was never even presented with an alternative. And I was never even, until the last meeting, I didn't even know what the requirement was. I didn't know about this magical formula, I mean, the formula's in the report, it's very complicated. I simply look at it as, hey, 30% of 60 is 18. I've got 17.5 inch space. I'm shy by half an inch. They're coming up with a different method. I think numbers can be manipulated, to suit your needs. Again, I'm not here to skirt any laws. I mean, I went through 2 years of renovation, and we had a lot of issues. As you guys probably know, in construction, there's tons of issues all the time. And we worked through all those issues with the village. I mean, we were never trying to go around any ordinances or anything. That was never the intention.
Yeah, but I mean, so your contractor was aware that what he was installing was not, he wouldn't have called if he didn't know that it wasn't gonna meet the
Well, I asked my contractor to call because I had issues with the inspectors before. So I was proactive in asking him to please get the right answer before we install the fence.
I guess I'm confused as to what the issue with an inspector has to do with something that didn't meet the code.
I had issues with inspectors before. I didn't want to have issues with this inspection, knowing that I was out of compliance.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to do the right thing.
No, I understand. But so you were aware that it was out of compliance, but,
I was aware, and I
yeah,
proactively called, yeah.
okay.
Anything else?
No,
No. Trustee Bischke?
So you're saying 30% of 60 inches is 18, and that's true, but that's not how you calculate the open space. So if you're much more than a half an inch off, because you need to have for 60 inches, you'll need to have 25.7 inches of open space. And you've got less than 19, so you're off by 6 inches.
I wasn't clear. I mean, I read the code, and it doesn't specify a formula, so I'd love to see what.
No, it
what that-
specifies 30% open space.
Right,
And
right.
you don't have that. You have 20% barely.
20%, I don't understand how, if I have a 60-inch surface area, 30% of that surface area is,
That's not how you calculate it. You have to, that's adding 30% to the surface area, but
Yeah.
you have to take that, you have to take the 8.5 inches that you have. So you're, according to the pictures, you're spaced at right about 11 inches top of the board to each top of the board, right, top to top. You're at about 11 inches. You
I
need
got
to be-
spacing on the bottom too.
You need to be over 12 on every one of those. So every board is an inch short of open space.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I agree with the math there, but I'm hearing what you're saying.
Well, it sounds like maybe there's a clarification needs to be made just to ensure that that's not a question in the future, but either way, the fact is, it's out, whether it's a half inch or it's 5 inches, it doesn't matter, it's still
Yeah,
out, so.
it's almost 6 inches
Yeah.
short total for the
right.
size of the fence.
Other questions? So, so the question is, and I disagree with your comments, Ryan, that should the board decide to approve this, that it does not set any precedents. This is an opportunity that the board can grant variations. That's why we're here, is to do that, and just because we grant one doesn't set any kind of precedence. If we were on our third or fourth time, then we'd be having a different conversation. But I don't look at this as being a situation where it's now considered a solid fence. It's not a solid fence. It's clearly not. And it doesn't set any precedents. I think the petitioner has made an attempt to meet the requirements. We can debate the conversation, but at least was trying to be proactive on the gap. Could have been in a conversation, for all we know, could have been, they thought they were talking apples to apples, and it was apples to bananas, and not the same, and neither fully understood that in the course of the conversation. So, but here we are. It is what it is, and at this point, unless there's no other further questions, I'm going to look for a motion from the board. Now, keep in mind, the recommendation was a denial from staff, but it was a was basically
Plan Commission recommended approval.
yeah, Plan Commission recommended approval, so look for a motion one way or another.
Motion to concur with the Plan Commission's recommendation.
There's a
Second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please pull the board?
Trustee Patel is absent. Trustee Clare?
No.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Trustee Madej is absent. Trustee Bishki?
No.
Trustee LaRosa?
Yes.
President Daley votes yes.
Okay, which takes care of the recommendation, but there's an ordinance that would need to be approved in order to adopt this. And the way it's looking, it would only get 3 votes and we need 4. So I would say that if you want to
Well,
find out what the whole board thinks, it should be
Be deferred.
continued to the next meeting so that you can get a full vote. So in order to pass an ordinance legally, statutorily, it requires 4 affirmative votes, and you only have 3.
okay.
Unless,
And
unless you want to take the vote. on
I
the
ask
ordinance.
for a motion to defer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Well,
Do
no,
I
no,
have to
that's-
pick a date?
Roll.
We need a date.
Oh.
We need a
certain.
date certain.
Dates-
Yeah,
date certain.
so our,
Next board meeting is July
7th?
14th?
that is correct, Mayor.
Okay.
So move to defer to a date certain of July 14th, 2026.
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second to defer to July 14th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So we'll see you back here on July 14th.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is comments from the public. It's an opportunity to appear before the village board to discuss anything that is pertinent towards the village of Schaumburg. So we only ask that you come up here, give us your name, and hold your comments to about 3 minutes would be great. Thank you for coming. There being no comments, we'll move on. Council report.
No report tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, thank you. President's report. I have one item, which is resignation and appointments for a couple of committees and an advisory commission. So for Bikeways, we have reappointments of Bob Schmidt as chair from representing the Schaumburg Park District, Lynn Calderola at large, Jay Flynn at large, Gary Falafis, Hoffman Estates representative, Charlotte Kagereis at large, Thomas Rickett at large, Glenn Zergott, the ZBA representative, Dale Litney, the Plan Commission representative, Jim Pye, School District 54 representative, Neil Holdway, Schaumburg Bike Club, Robert Riddle at large. Schaumburg Regional Airport Advisory Commission, removal of Bernie Mail as chair. His term had ended at April 30th, 2026, and Jack Trudell removal as co-chair. Also, his term ended on 4/30/26, with the appointments of Brian Bischke, term ending April 30th, 28, as chair. Mark Bidet, term ending April 30th. I guess let me say everybody's here. April 30th, 28, as co-chair. Jack Trudell from Park District, Barry Mayall from Park District, Jamie Clare, Scott Linguel, and Bill McLeod from Hoffman Estates as alternates. And then last, Sister Cities Committee, we have a removal of, and please don't make me ask how to pronounce this, I apologize. Cusciuto Minno, M-I-N-O.
Close.
My apologies. And an appointment of
Hiranori.
goes by the short name of Hank, which is appreciated. Fujibachi. Oh, thank you very much, Jack. And this is from, this is on the Japan Sister Cities Committee.
Where's Georgia?
So, and that is all. Look for motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate you bearing with me as we go through that. Next is manager's report.
I just have a few items this evening for my report. First, I want to express my appreciation and the village's appreciation to Cassandra Sheff for her tenure as our Director of Communications. This is Cassandra's final meeting. She's stepping back from her professional endeavors to deal with some other things at this point. We certainly appreciate her service over the past year. She's done some really great things related to our communications program and our communications effort, things related to the 70th anniversary, getting some of our social media channels in order, and most importantly, kicking off the advertising and marketing campaign. So Cassandra, thank you very much for your service, and I give you a round of applause. When one door closes, another opens, and we are pleased to welcome Tara Reed. She is here this evening. She is our new Director of Communications, who comes to us with over 20 years of experience in the private sector related to marketing and communications and public relations. She did a really nice job during the interview process, exhibiting her skills and demonstrating positive energy. And I'm looking forward to what she brings to the organization and to the village as well. So, Tara, welcome to you. And finally, I want to extend my thanks and congratulations to Tiana Weiler on the conclusion of the renaming process for the former Al Larson Prairie Center for the Arts. We had a really nice event at the Al Larson Cultural Center on Saturday with Second City. It was great to see so many members of the community there celebrating the 40 years of history of the center and getting ready to write the next chapter. So congratulations to you, and thanks for all your work on that. And I wish everybody a happy Independence Day. And that concludes my report.
And we are closed July 3rd.
Correct.
Okay. All right, trustee comments and mentions?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Hope to see you.